Hello everybody, I hope you are doing well. I hope you're having a great Thursday. Thank you for tuning in to Chai with Rai. This is another episode 22 to be exact, of Chai with Rai. I am Rai. Welcome to all of those who are joining. If you have not been here before, this is my digital jukebox where we get guests every week. Hey Jay, how are you? We get guests every week from all walks of life of entertainment, and we basically discuss all things entertainment, social and political topics, historical things, and life journeys, and we find those hidden gems through which we can impart some wisdom onto each other and just have a great conversation. So hello to all that are joining. Hi Ria, hi Kaveh, hi Maud, hi Devani. If you haven't checked out any of the episodes, make sure to do so. You can find them on my IGTV. We've had some great guests. Today we have none other than Shweta. And then next month we have some exciting guests. One of them will be from Akram Khan Company. So next week I have Maven from Akram Khan joining me, and we're going to discuss some beautiful things with him. But I'm going to get on with the show. Oh God. Let me just get rid of that on my screen. So we're going to get on with today's show. Firstly, if I haven't said it already, hello, welcome. Hope you're well. Hope your week was great. This week has been better for me. I just finished actually cooking. I was cooking saag aloo. So if you haven't actually checked out my story, make sure to do so. I love cooking. Also, if you want me to share my cooking videos with you, type that into the comment box or on my IG channel somewhere, and I will do so. But without further ado, we're going to get on to today's guest, which is none other than Shweta Aggarwal. Okay, Shweta is a beautiful person whom I came across our connection of Bollywood. She's an author, a former Bollywood Dance Company owner, which is, the company is called Threebee, and she was a business analyst at UBS. She's also a lecturer and teacher for speaking and writing. Through lockdown, she provided kids and family workshops on Dev and Ollie, which is one of her books that she's written, a children's kids book, and she read and did writing stuff, and also has now gone back to teaching Bollywood. Shweta, I see you've sent me a request, but I'm going to talk about your work first. So Shweta has published 3 kids books. Okay, by the way, if you haven't checked any of those out, make sure to do so on Amazon. They are available. They are called Dev and Ollie, and we're going to get her on here, and they are about a young South Asian boy and his bedtime pet pal named Ollie, who's a wise owl, and they sneak out the house and they basically go around the world learning about festivals and culture, and it's such a cute book. And at the end of the books, there's these little exercises and things like that you guys can do. So support brown community and make sure to check those books out on Amazon. Also, she's now working on a novel called The Black Rose, which is inspired by her own experiences on colourism in the South Asian community. So she's going to be doing that, and we're going to discuss that. But I just want to touch on the beautiful company that is Threebee. Threebee was one of the, I want to say, the pioneer Bollywood companies in UK, and it was also one of the first companies to go and make it on the semi-finals on Britain's Got Talent. And throughout all of this, I'm just going to say a couple of things, and then Shweta, I'm going to get you on. Actually, as I get you on, I'm just going to things. For all of this work that Shweta has done, this has led her to an Asian Woman of Achievement Awards for Arts and Culture in 2016, and also being invited by Her Majesty the Queen at Buckingham Palace for UK India Culture Festival in 2017. Hello!
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. You're glowing.
Well, it's lockdown.
You look beautiful. You look beautiful. How are you? I'm just typing what is happening here. As I type, tell me how your week has been, how your day has been. How was your class that you were teaching?
So week has not been great, to be honest, with everything going on in India. I think mentally I'm just not present here.
Yeah.
It's been extremely difficult because my immediate family is in India and practically in the eye of the storm in Delhi. So it's been very, very difficult for me. But you know what? I'm here. I'm helpless, and I can't do anything apart from donating. And after a few days, I've made my peace with that, and I just check in every day. And I'm just blessed to, to be here and to have the life that I have here. So yeah, just trying to be positive and productive, and just keep going, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I would like to mention is I wanted to play a little game before we got into this conversation, but now we've gotten into the conversation. We'll play it again. No, it's fun.
Like one of those intellectual games.
Oh no, it's not. It's like
so
a quick little fun.
Games.
It's a quick little fun game, guys. For all of those who watch this after, who are just tuning in, just a little touch up on things. India's rates for COVID-19 is at an extremely high. Hospitals are overloaded, and the crematoriums are overloaded. I just want to touch upon this. India is not the only country. There's countries like Yemen, there's countries like Syria, and so many other countries going through this. I think this is a human rights thing. Please, if you can, just check out some of the charities. Shweta, do you want to talk about any of the charities, or just like...
Yeah, absolutely. So I came across cddep.org.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is going to sound so awful because I don't even remember what it stands for now. But I came across it because one of my sister-in-laws messaged it to me on a WhatsApp group chat when I asked them, like, how can I help? And it's actually a legitimate organization, and I believe it's affiliated with the World Health Organization. Yeah. So in that sense, it's good to donate to them, and they're in desperate need of oxygen supplies. So there's a link on their page that on their homepage where you can click on directly just to donate to oxygen supplies. Also, there's another one that I came across called giveindia.org. And then there's Khalsa Aid.
Yes.
And there's the British Asian Trust, I believe, that are putting together, they've got a whole list, together. So I've seen quite a few on Instagram. So yeah, I'm more than happy to share them. Maybe posts or stories or something. I've been doing that on my stories anyway.
I think more than anything, I think charity work is great and aid work is great, but I think we need to bring awareness to certain things and discuss what is happening in terms of, like I said, it's not just India, it's Yemen, it's Syria, it's other, indigenous or non-indigenous and developing countries around the world. So I think it's a human rights thing. And if you're fortunate enough, and even if you have, I hate to sound like one of those things that, the appeal thing, but this is literally one of those things that has affected everybody. And if you can donate £1.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you have the privilege to breathe and, if you're in a capacity, but, that is that. We're going to try and make this happy. I don't know how to segue from that, but this is going to be a weird thing. They were just, people who are watching this, they're going to be like, wow, they were discussing something serious and now they've just gone on to this. But this is life. We get happy, we get sad, we cry, we get angry, This is that. Yeah. Shweta, before we do anything, are you ready as part of the warm-up game to play 5-second rule? This is a game I saw online. It is called the 5-second rule. I will say name 3 things and you have basically 5 seconds to name them. Okay? So like if I was like name 3 fruits and I start doing this, you have 5 seconds to name 3 fruits. Okay. All right, are you ready?
That's okay then.
That easy. All right, this is Shweta Aggarwal's 5-second rule. All right, are you ready? First question. Name 3 things you do after waking up.
Brush my teeth, change my clothes, make a cup of coffee.
Oh, so close. Okay. 3 favorite dances done by Sridevi, the late great Sridevi.
Ooh, Hava Hawaii, the Nagin song, and she's my idol. I can't believe this.
I know. All right. Name 3 authors starting with the letter S.
Ooh, this is tricky. With S. Oh my God. I can't do this. Apart from myself.
Somebody named, why am I thinking of Simon Pegg right now or something? Who is Simon Pegg? Why am I thinking of that name right now? Oh God. They're gonna be like some random dude. Okay.
I still can't think of it. This is terrible. I can't believe
there must be authors by the name of, if you know of any authors beginning.
There must be so many.
Yeah, there has to be many.
I've got a whole like bookshelf here.
I know, come on. All right, 2 questions. Name 3 Coldplay songs you can sing whilst cooking.
Oh my God, now you're asking. Oh God.
Ah!
This is so bad. I am so bad when I'm put on the spot like this.
Coldplay is one of your favorite bands.
It
Come on
is,
now.
yeah.
Like,
They are actually. And
any
I even went to
song.
their concert.
I don't.
This is
But
ridiculous.
okay, you can get this. You can get this. This is the last one. All right. Name 3 foods you cannot live without.
Dal, rice, and chapatis.
Hey!
Desi at heart.
Desi and hot. Well, you can relax now. You can finally breathe. Everything's
You know
fine.
what's going to happen now for the rest of our chat is I'm going to be thinking about those 3 authors with S, and I'm going to be thinking about the 3 songs. I cannot believe this.
Yellow. I don't know, like any, but actually, that's one of my favorite songs by Coldplay. Yellow.
Yellow. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good one. And then there's I've got the tune stuck in my head, and I don't know the title of the song. Okay, we're gonna have to have another night.
We'll do just for the Coldplay. I have questions to ask you, which is, as we've already done, how was your day and how your week? By the way, before I move on, I forgot to say, most of all, other than any title, you are a beloved mother, daughter, sister, friend, and wife. Those are the titles that I, you know, of a loving family.
So sweet. I've never actually thought about it that way.
That's above all, those are your main accolades. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a devoted wife, you're a devoted mother, daughter, sister, and friend. Auntie.
Can I add something cheesy to that?
Yeah, go on.
I am myself.
Hey.
To begin with, I am myself.
I have a question to ask you. How does a girl who began her journey, this is through my research and talking to you, in Kobe, Japan, then moved for boarding schools in India, and then graduated at Ramia Institute of Technology, and then goes to UBS to become a business analyst, move into running a successful Bollywood dance company for 10 years, okay? And then has 3 kids' books, okay? And now is writing a novel about the Witch's Black Rose, about colorism, and has met the Queen, and got the Asian Achievers Award for Arts and Culture.
Thank you.
How many pivots? How does one go from such a strategic mindset, like such a bookie sort of mindset, be like, okay, I'm running a Bollywood company?
I'm just kind of, you know, I have to say, I have to give the credit to my husband for this.
Yeah.
I really genuinely do. And I wish that he was here to hear this. But it's because of his support. And not just financially, because he's the breadwinner, to be very honest, but also because of his emotional support and his backing, and his belief in me, that I've been able to do all of this. So I started with my dance company when I moved to London, whilst I was working at UBS, because that's my passion, and it has always been from a very, very young age, the age of 6.
Let's just, I'm going to throw another picture in there.
That's the gang.
That's Threebee.
So I just started it as a hobby here. I started attending a dance class that I found out about.
Yeah.
And when I attended that class, the very first time itself, the one thing that popped into my head was, wow, this is amazing, and I can do this. There is a whole market, you know, and there are people here who come to this dance class and they love it. I love it, and so I want to do something like this myself. And so that's how I started, by just running a dance class once a week, just for fun, because Amit, my husband, he worked really, really long hours in not private banking, sorry, investment banking.
Yeah.
So he didn't come home till like 10 at the earliest.
Oh, God.
And so by the time I came home, cooked dinner, did everything, I still had 2 hours to kill. And so that's how it all started. And then, you know, one class to another class to another class, running 6 classes a week, I then actually realized I can really do this as a business, essentially, or even just continue running classes like this and see where it goes. And then I think what was the stepping stone as such, it always just takes one believer, right, in you.
Yeah.
And the stepping stone and my believer, other than Amit, was this production house who at that time, back in 2000 something, they were the producers of Footballers' Wives.
Oh, yes, because you have done Footballers' Wives, Paul O'Grady Show, BBC's Hustle, Hotel Babylon, just a couple of, just name dropping.
Yeah, we just got so lucky. Threebee has been so blessed, and all the dancers, and it wouldn't be what it was without any of this. But yeah, essentially what happened was I was in Japan visiting my family over the summer break, and I got an email from this producer who asked me if I have dancers, and wants to hire dancers for Footballers' Wives for this episode with Leila Ruas. And I didn't even have dancers then. I just lied. I just said, yeah, absolutely, not a problem. Like, how many do you need? And he said 6. And I was like, okay, yeah, not a problem. I didn't even have one. And, because he was like such a believer. And he said, by the way, I love your website. It's got a very Moulin Rouge theme to it. And so he didn't even ask me for any video clips.
You've taken down the website and I so badly want to see it.
I know.
It's a show reel, by the way. And there's a show on there, which is massively a production. Yeah. It's a production and a half, that show. Yeah. That's only a show reel.
Yeah, so I mean that obviously was a few years down the road, but then this is how it all started, because I then booked a flight back to London the next day only so that I can audition for 6 dancers.
Oh God.
So after that is what basically gave Threebee wings, and it started kind of being recognized, and the best bit was that he didn't even asked me for a video or photographs. He just believed somehow in me. And when I came down to London, I was taking a risk because he hadn't actually confirmed that, we are going to book you for this.
Yeah.
I just wanted it so bad that I was prepared to take that risk, that I'll fly down to London, audition 6 dancers, tell him that I've got 6 dancers available, and then let's see what happens. And and then the rest is history. And Threebee then from that grew with the number of dancers, because I kind of realized that is really where my passion lies, in choreographing routines with dancers. And I do love teaching classes, but this is something that I really want to focus on. And so basically 10 years later, we were performing, well, not 10 years, 5 or 6 years later, we were on Britain's Got Talent. And then, Threebee lasted about 10 years.
Yeah.
So, it's been quite a journey.
I have, as we're discussing Threebee, bold, beautiful, and was it Bollywood?
Very
was it
Bollywood.
The best, very Bollywood.
Very Bollywood.
How did you, come up with the name Threebee? Is that like, you were like, define Bollywood, what are the 3 things? And then you were like, okay, the 3 Bs of Bollywood. Is that where it stems from?
That's exactly how I started, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, to be very honest, the very first name that I had was Bollywood and Bhangra Beats. So the BBB, the 3B. And then I actually changed the company name and the slogan rather.
Yeah.
And then I called it Bold, Beautiful and Very Bollywood. And that stuck with a lot of people that, they liked it.
Back then, I have to say, okay, you have to give me a little bit of a lowdown, because I'm very fascinated about Bollywood in the UK back in the day. From my knowledge, and as far as I can go, there were only a couple of people, like there might be like 5 Bollywood dance companies. Now you can corner everywhere Bollywood dance company.
Yeah.
There was, correct me if I'm wrong, there was yourself, there was Honeys, there was Angels, Eastern Illusion, did that come after, or that was?
Eastern Productions rings a bell. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they were definitely around. Oh, and then Storm Productions.
That. And then Naz did Flex in some capacity.
He did, yeah. And there were a couple more.
Oh, really?
There was the Sapne Dance Academy, which still is going strong.
Ashta's Sapne, yeah.
And what's the other one? Who's run by the academy is run by Rajeshri.
Shamak?
No,
Shamak.
Name now, gosh. But yeah, they were around as well. They've been around for a while. and then there was Nikita's Bollywood Dance Company.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's only a handful. Now
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, I
oh.
mean, there were quite a few actually.
Oh,
Surprisingly,
really?
quite a few. Oh, and there was Bollywood Grooves. How can I forget them?
Oh,
Because
yes.
because
Bollywood
Bollywood Grooves
Grooves.
is whose dance class I attended.
I thought
Vandana's.
Bollywood Grooves came after.
Yeah, no, it was Vandana who started Bollywood Grooves, and I
Right.
attended her dance class. And I think I actually scared her a little bit in the sense that, let me pick my words carefully.
Oh, in terms
I
of
think I was
competition?
very, very passionate and very excited
Yeah.
about doing the Bollywood thing. So I remember asking her, like, how can I help? And, you know, I'm happy to like do this in partnership with you and blah, 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 blah. And that's what I meant by, I think I scared her because like I was just full on. And so I kind of went, you know, my separate ways and started my own dance class. But I completely appreciate that why she would be so, you know, for whatever reason, why she would feel that way, because I was so overexcited about it.
I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
Firstly, how do you think Bollywood in the UK has changed in terms of when you guys were around, in terms of Threebee, and then to what it is now? And also, did the politics exist back then? Was the competitiveness and you know what I mean? We talk behind scenes of Bollywood scenes. Did it still exist back then, or it wasn't as much because social media and this popularity contest and everybody could have a piece of the pie back then, or it was exactly the same?
The problem with competition in any field, whether it's Bollywood or anything else, is that I feel that people don't understand that there is a piece of the pie for everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to fight for it as such. And yes, the answer to that question is yes. There was definitely politics. Dancers were moving around. They weren't loyal as such to one particular team. There would definitely be like, you know, several dance companies pitching to one client. And that happens. That is life, right? That happens in any job. That is life. So, but yeah, it can get nasty, and it has gotten nasty. But I have to say again, with Threebee, I've been so fortunate that all the dancers I had in my team, I really believe that I gave them freedom, and I never had any contract signed with them to say you have to stick with Threebee. So I really do believe in that, you know, that phrase where if you love someone, you let them go and they'll come back to you So they did from time to time perform for other companies, and they would ask me, they'd be very honest and frank, and I would say, yeah, please go ahead. And I think that was one of the reasons why Threebee lasted for that long, for 10 years. And we were such a tight group because we didn't have any internal politics. But yeah, you do get it.
What were, other than Britain's Got Talent, what would you say were some of the highlights throughout the 10 years? And then we'll get on to Britain's Got Talent, by the way.
Yeah. So one of the biggest highlights, I have to say, unfortunately, that I couldn't share when we were actually going through it at that time, was us being invited to audition for the London Olympics.
What?
Yeah. And we weren't allowed to announce that. We weren't allowed to share that with anybody. So at that time, when I got an email from one of the organizers, he had seen us perform at a festival. In fact, he was the one who booked us for that festival. And then he said, we absolutely loved you guys. We want you to come down to audition. And I asked him, oh my God, that's absolutely amazing. By the way, can I just find, like, do you mind if I ask how many are you auditioning? And he said, oh, there's just 3 of you, including you. And you know, it was like, wow, that's a real honor.
Yeah.
So we auditioned for that, and we were given 1 week. And I had to basically put together 2 3-minute dance routines with 40 dancers. Yeah.
40 or 14?
40.
Oh.
And that, as you can imagine, is impossible in 5 working days. And with Threebee, all my dancers were working full time, all of them.
Yeah.
And so we were literally trying to, like, you know, frantically look for rehearsal space every evening in different parts of London, and trying to get all these dancers to attend every day. And I I basically essentially just, asked the audition team. I said, look, I'm really sorry, but I can't possibly do this, but I really want to audition. Can I do one routine? And I have 30 dancers. I don't have 40. Is that okay? And they said, yeah, that's fine. And we auditioned, and I'll never forget that audition because we auditioned in the exact same location where Footballers' Wives was filmed, my very first gig. So I walked into that production, set in that area, and I literally had goosebumps. And I was like, oh my God, this is definitely a sign and we're going to get it. Well, we didn't.
Hey.
Because they preferred a traditional Bhangra team, but they gave us amazing feedback. They said we were really, really amazing, but we just decided that we would rather go for a traditional Bhangra team. Not with Bollywood. But that was one of the biggest highlights for us because I wasn't allowed to film it in that production in that room.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed to do anything because that was the largest space we had. All the studios that we were booking, there was hardly any space. So I could never get all the 30 dancers in one shot. Whereas with this massive warehouse, I could, but they wouldn't allow me to film it. So I still have that in my head. I've got the choreography and everything and how perfect everybody was. I've never been more proud of it.
Oh no.
Yeah, but that's definitely one of the biggest highlights for me.
Now let's get on to, by the way, as I was looking down, I was trying to find this beautiful Britain's Got Talent audition. Mind you, how was the audition process? As I play this in the background mutedly, how was the audition process for Britain's Got Talent? Keep
okay,
talking.
so I hope I'm allowed to say this as well with Britain's Got Talent. So I got an email from the production team, basically saying, we love you and we love your routines. Can you come down to audition and can you come down to a live audition directly in Manchester? So we bypassed what I learned later.
Not even London, y'all went to Manchester?
We went to Manchester, yeah. And I was again given like 1 week and they wanted like 30 whatever dancers. And I think we ended up having 16 because I couldn't do that many.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I learned later was that we had bypassed the first round, which is where they have the kind of, all the dance teams, all the talent come down to some sort of production company, location. Where you see them in this kind of stage setup as opposed to directly on stage in front of the judges. So we went to Manchester and one of the dancers missed the train in the morning.
That would be me. Can I just say, that sounds like me. I missed, that sounds amazing.
So yeah, so one of them missed the train and we were, as you can imagine, panicking. And, thankfully he made it. And thankfully there was a lot of waiting on the other side in Manchester itself in terms of us getting on stage. So it all worked out well in the end. And then after the audition, we were just on such a high. And when we got the 3 yeses, that didn't mean that we would be one of the 40 semi-finalists, right? We were just happy to be there and to have performed. And, all the Threebee dancers, they are so passionate, equally passionate about dance, and bless them, just ready to go anywhere to perform. And genuinely, I mean, I can't say this enough. I couldn't have a better team. So when we did that, when we found out in May, I believe, when they announced the semi-finalists, I realized that we probably are one of the semi-finalists because we were taken to this really amazing hotel. And we were, there was a whole spread of food there, and and all the teams that were there were really good teams. And so even though it was all meant to be a surprise, I kind of felt like this is where all the 40 semi-finalists are going. And the ones that they have gotten, they've said no to, are essentially sent back home. And it's not like everybody here in this hotel is going to be, some are going to be chosen and some not. Everybody came in screaming and jumping when they were told. Everybody.
God.
So I kind of felt like, okay, I think we're in.
It's set up.
But you know what? You never know, right? You've got literally, you're like, your heart's in your mouth and you're like, what's happening? And then we got in, and yeah, I mean, the rest is history. We performed as the first Bollywood dance company on Britain's Got Talent, as in the semi-finals. And so it was amazing.
Questions about Britain's Got Talent, because lots of contestants come out and say certain things in regards to it being rigged, and I've spoken to some of the dancers in 3B in regards to this and stuff like that. I think you've been very nice and politically correct in regards to your experience in this, but I just want to talk the direction in regards to your Bollywood company, because I think the Bollywood companies usually have a defined face, and though am I correct in saying you did predominantly all of the choreography, right?
Yeah.
How comes you never chose to have like a predominant couple or like a lead?
Yeah.
Or like you just wanted it to be a cohesive sort of situation?
I did. Frankly, I did my best to be fair.
Okay.
And having said that, I did choose a lead couple as such, on occasions where I really felt the need to. And I know that, you know, sometimes I got into trouble for doing that. And I know that sometimes, you know, there were a little bit, you know, some unhappy faces on the other side. But sometimes I just had to. I had to have a lead couple represent 3B. But the good thing is that we actually had a lot of strong male dancers. So we had, and for that reason, because we had a lot of strong male dancers and female dancers, strong female dancers are much easier to come by, right? So it was actually easy to rotate the couples. Yeah, so quite often within our one medley, we would have one couple lead for one song, and then I'd switch positions and have another couple lead for another song. And so I kept it like that and kept it fair. And also it's more engaging and entertaining for the audience, right?
Yeah.
Because if they're constantly seeing the same face in the front, it's not boring for them, but it makes a change, isn't it? Because every individual has something different to offer.
Yes.
So
So I think you missed one of my questions, which I really want to know. How do you think the industry has changed from when 3B was around to what it is today?
Yes, I did miss that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So what I personally really believe in with Bollywood, and Bollywood itself has changed, right? So it's not just the dance groups that we're talking about, right? We're talking about the industry, isn't it?
Well, yeah, the dance industry and Bollywood as general, it just as a pocketed in the UK, not like in terms of movies and things like that. Obviously, movies and music has evolved, and you know, everything is different.
I do feel that for me, Bollywood is, you know, above everything else in terms of crisp choreography. It's about expression. It's about really dancing from your heart.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's about completely letting go and, you know, going with that cheesy but very, you know, cliche but very true saying, dance like nobody's watching, right?
Yes.
And when you do that, even if you make mistakes, nobody cares, because they're just so in love with you loving yourself. Right? And just dancing and just enjoying yourself. And I find that element now in Bollywood itself as a movie industry, in terms of, you know, what they have with their videos and everything, and in terms of the dance companies here, I just feel like that is lacking a little bit, or that's changed rather. Yeah, because it's so much the importance is placed on crisp choreography.
Yes.
But the expression is missed. So I personally feel like that's what's changed. And that's what I really believe Bollywood was. And yeah.
Are there any of the companies or individuals out here who are like dance active that you kind of like watch still from time to time and you're like, okay, I like you. I like you. Are there any? Would you like to name any?
Yeah, sure. So a couple of my own ex-dancers,
yes.
Emiko being one of them, so talented. And, you know, I mean, literally like multi-skilled, right? We're talking being Japanese, a Kathak dancer, a street dancer, you know, Japanese dancer, Bhangra dancer.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's Sajan.
Oh yeah, Saj.
Yeah, Sajan is amazing. He's absolutely amazing to watch. And I don't know if Sajan ever mentioned to you, he was 14 when he auditioned for us.
Can I just say, I was watching Sajan's video today, and it reminds me, I'm not going to, Sajan, if you're watching this is not a dig, but can I say, he reminds me of Saif Ali Khan in Hum Tum. because of his 14 as well, though, by the way.
Yeah.
But Sergeant has the most beautiful eyes that like you just like, yeah.
And he's just an amazing dancer, and not
He
just a
is.
dancer. He's so good with his expressions, and he literally is one of them who dances from his heart.
Yeah.
Having said that, I mean, even the other dancers like Manna and Rick and Chella and Hinal and so many of them in my group, so many of them were just absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
Another person that I do really, really admire and watch is Karan. Karan's dance company.
Bengali? K-Sparks.
K-Sparks, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a beautiful dancer. Yeah.
He is, yeah. There's nobody like him.
He's amazing, yeah.
All right. Well, I was going to ask you on your choreo process, how was the choreo process back in the day to now versus now? Because you're teaching again, finally.
I know, I'm loving it.
How long have you been teaching? Because I tried to get you to teach when we were like working together back in the day.
I know, yeah. So I just started again over this lockdown period in the last 1 year, and just do one class a week every Thursday, and I absolutely love it. It's like I've reignited with my passion. Choreography wise, my dancers will vouch for this, right? Because they knew when they walk into that studio with Shweta will not have anything prepared. I never had anything prepared. It
For real?
Complete improvisation. I used to get my ideas from literally looking at their faces and watching them mess around with each other.
Play the song and just be like freestyle, you guys.
Well, I mean, not freestyle, but I would literally choreograph the minute I step into the studio. And I would go by like the 8 counts and, 8 counts ahead in advance. When they're having a little chat, I'd be like, okay, right, yeah, got it. Let's do this now. But I guess in the beginning, it was obviously kind of a slow, painstaking process, right? But bless them, they were patient. And then I think, as I got better, I started choreographing very fluidly. And it just kind of fortunately just came to me. But again, it was just their energy that I would get, my energy from, and ideas as well. Like the guys and the girls, all of them were like, oh, well, what about these 4 counts? And, oh, can I squeeze something in? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Absolutely.
Go ahead. Oh my God, got stuck there. And I think one thing that people don't mention about, and I think you should quickly touch on it, is like, one thing, the business of running a Bollywood company, damn. When clients call you up and they're like, yeah, I just want 2 1-hour performances, guests will come in and they just want to dance. I pay £50 per dancer and things like that. When they don't realize the rehearsals that it takes,
they don't.
The money that is spent on like costumes. The fact on like just marketing alone in terms of like just website domains and things like that.
Yeah.
And mixes of the medleys.
Yeah.
And trading and just like, oh my God, just like so much.
And all the hours that you put in, sitting behind your desktop, right? Or laptop. Your time is money.
Yeah.
You're working for yourself, sure, fair enough, but who's paying you at the end of the day, right? If your clients have that attitude, isn't it?
That is true.
It is shocking, actually. And it's mostly the Asian community who obviously want to bargain and, squeeze every bit that they can.
Penny.
So one of them I'll never forget was some Asian uncle who called and said, oh, well, I want 4 dancers to perform at my niece's wedding, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, great. Well, this is what our fee is. And he said, how much? And I went, well, this is what our fee is. And he said, well, I can get Shah Rukh Khan to perform for that fee. And I said, oh, please go ahead and do it then. And when he comes, can you call me over as well?
I'll come for free.
Exactly. I'll come for free then.
Yeah, I don't think people realize. And even when they want like wedding choreographies and things like that, they'll pay you like £60 for an hour, like £40.
Yeah.
And you'll just be like, guys, come on. Studio.
The other shocking one was I got a call from Goldman Sachs, somebody in the events team at Goldman Sachs. And I'll never forget this either. she rang me and she said, oh, we're looking for a Bollywood dance company for our Diwali event, blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, great. I'd love to. This is what our fee is. And she said, uh-huh. I'm just, yeah, you know who we are, right? That's what she said. I kid you not. She said, have you heard of Goldman Sachs? And I was just gobsmacked. And I said, yes, I do know of Goldman Sachs. Have you heard of UBS? Because that's where I used to work.
Did she think that she was going to get a massive discount because they're Goldman Sachs?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's not actually just Asians. It's
everybody.
Somehow it's a real shame. Artists are not treated with enough respect and not given enough importance. And yeah, I mean, people just take it for granted that artists will just perform for you for, a discounted fee, and you can treat them poorly. It's terrible, terrible. When I used to work for contraband events, that was one of the key things. I always made sure when we did our bookings that, our contract was ruthless when it came to protecting the artist.
And that was that. I think it should be. I think there's unions now, but there'll still be like new companies or individuals who'll be willing to take like just expenses or something, because unfortunately you have to do gigs in order to build names.
Yeah. But then I think, sometimes it also is detrimental, because when you do that, they then treat you even worse.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? Because they think that, oh, they're a newbie, so, they're probably not that good. Or, you know what I mean? Or so we can treat them like this. And that's so wrong.
That is the industry, kids. That is the industry. Now moving on to happier times. How did it feel to meet?
Wow, yeah. Oh, God.
Her Majesty, wait, can we just take 2 seconds? Her Majesty the Queen, and also winning AWA's award for arts and culture.
So I'll start with the award, because that was, again, my stepping stone in terms of recognition for the books that I wrote, Dev and Ollie.
I remember when you messaged me and you told me about that, and I was like, oh my God!
Yeah.
Ah!
I couldn't believe it. I actually refused to move from my chair. I sat there for 30 seconds, and it was Riz Latif who was doing the comparing, and she announced my name twice. And my friend kicked me under the table saying, it's you. And I just said, no, I don't think so. Because I just could not believe it. And there were so many amazing people. I mean, every single category, there were such amazing women who were nominated for it. And then even in the arts and culture, category, there were such amazing women who had achieved so much, and, celebrities essentially in their own right. And I guess what I'm not saying it just because I won the award, but I've seen this with AWA over the kind of subsequently, that since 2016, after I won the award, that they don't just go for those who are super high achievers or already celebrities in their own right. They actually recognize the underdogs as well. And that's what's really amazing about the AWA. And I think maybe that was one of the reasons why they recognized me. And their award was my stepping stone with Dev and Ollie getting into schools and getting into libraries. Because as a self-published author in the literary world, it doesn't mean anything. Like, they don't recognize you as an author.
Yeah.
Sadly, that is the case. But I was determined to do this, and I thought, okay, well, slow and steady, whatever it takes, and I'm going to do it my way and myself. And when I won the award is when I was able to then blow my own trumpet about it to schools and libraries. And then after that, I got invited to Buckingham Palace, again, because of the AWA organization.
Let's just show that again. How was the day? Do you get sweaty palm? What is the training? Is it just as true as people say you can't talk to her for this, you need to curtsy like this? Yeah.
Oh yeah. That we had to go through that. We had so when I received the invite, and I opened it, it was in this beautiful envelope, very rich and very beautifully written, and you could tell that this is like.
Do you still have it?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Absolutely. And so when I opened it, I actually could not believe what I'd just seen. And I thought it was some sort of like prank. So I actually asked, and I showed it to a few friends, and I took a picture of it, and I said, can you just explain to me what this is? Like, I'm literally like, I've gone blank. I have no idea what this is. This can't be what I'm thinking this is. And they said, yes, it is. You've just been invited by the Queen to Buckingham Palace. And then I messaged Pinky Lalani, who's the chairman of the AWA.
Oh, wow.
And I said, Pinky, I've just received this invite, and I just wondered if this has anything to do with the AWA, and I wondered if you, have shared an invite. And she said, yeah, that's right. I put your name down as one of the invites to come along with me. I mean, wow, right? That is like a double accolade, because I wasn't just going to meet the Queen at Buckingham Palace, but I was put forward by Pinky Lalani, the chairman of the AWA.
Yeah.
So it was just unbelievable. I mean, obviously I met Pinky there, and so many other amazing people, and that whole evening was just a blur, because I was on such a high, and when your jaws ache by the end of the evening as well, because you're just so happy.
Smiling.
You're so happy, and you're literally smiling from ear to ear, and you're like, wow. When I came out, my kids and Amit had actually come to pick me up. So
oh, wow.
My husband texted me saying, we're outside the palace. And it was just the most amazing thing. It was really just so sweet. And the Queen herself, Her Majesty, she is so humble and so
gracious.
So gracious, and she was so full of life. She was so friendly, and she went around talking to everybody. She shook everybody's hands, and well, with her gloves on, obviously. And we were told as part of the invite, the letter mentioned how to, kind of curtsy and learn how to curtsy before, and how to address her. And I mean, it's not rocket science, right? Like, a courtesy is a bow, and I was getting nervous just about that. I was practicing it in my hallway before I left for the palace.
How many times did you change your outfit, or you knew you were going to wear this beautiful forest green embroidered sari, and how your hair was going to be, or like...
Yeah, so there were a few changes, and there was a fashion show. And my daughter giving me advice on like what to wear and what to do, and she's like, please, I love your hair, but please do something about it when you go see the...
Damn! Savage.
She's like, you have to have it like done. I'm like, okay. So I got my hair done, I got my makeup done. I mean, it's once in a lifetime opportunity, right? If that.
It was an event. It was an event. Oh, hello? Hello?
Oh, it was an event and a half. Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Yes. I
Hello?
thought we just had a little bit of a lag. Yeah, I can hear you. I thought we had a bit of a lag, because you were just frozen and smiling.
Hello?
Oh, Shweta, there's a bit of a lag.
Okay. Sorry. Not sure what happened. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Internet.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's fine. I think it's just gonna happen. It's internet.
I'm not sure what it was.
It's fine. It's technology. It's fine. Like, I tried to, I've been stalking you, and I was watching one of your interviews, and you did this wonderful interview with this girl from India, and oh my God, the internet, I was like, oh no! in that whole conversation. All right, well, that is the Queen. I was actually one of the things I'm eagerly wanting to ask you, how's the toilet? Did you use the toilet?
I did. Wow. I mean, the toilets were the size of my house.
For real?
It was like literally, the ladies itself was like the size of my entire house. It was amazing. I just cannot recall everything, because when you're that ecstatic, you just like, you know what I mean? Everything becomes a blur. But I remember obviously seeing the Queen, not just there, the picture that you had, but actually she then went around, and she actually mingled with everybody, and she made conversation, and she actually was interested in knowing what people are doing and why they're there. you know.
What did you say?
I mean, I think I literally got one sentence in saying, I write children's books and, you know, Dev and Ollie with a South Asian boy representing our culture. And she said, how wonderful. And, you know, those two words are enough.
That's it.
Yeah.
How, we talked about Threebee, we've talked about a little bit, we're going to talk a little bit on Dev and Ollie and everything, but how did becoming a wife and becoming a mother change your perspective on the external things you were doing? Of course, you were working at UBS, and then you know you had Threebee, and then after that you had Dev and Ollie. So how did all of these things change your perspective?
Yeah, so you know,
or evolve you?
You just go through life and you allow life to take you where it takes you, right? And you have to prioritize that moment in your life where you realize, okay, you're moving on to another stage or another phase, or you've taken another path. And that's, you know, essentially what happened. You don't even think about it, to be honest. It's just life taking over its course. And when I was pregnant with my first, with my daughter, I remember choreographing to the Turkish Film Awards, and I had 2 weeks to go. Yeah. So when Sergeant came to audition, I was heavily pregnant. He had to do a double take when he walked in, and he said, "Oh, you know, who's the choreographer?" He was looking for the choreographer, and I was like, "Hi, it's me." And he went. I was like, "Oh, here." And then with my son, I actually started getting labor pain the evening of the final filming for Hotel Babylon. We had a 3-day filming session, all 3 days in, I think it was Park Lane Hilton.
Yeah.
And I remember this vividly. The director actually came up to me and asked me 3 or 4 times, "Are you okay?" Because I was absolutely exhausted, and I actually ended up going upstairs to the hotel lobby and falling asleep on a couch. And I was heavily pregnant. And that evening, the last day of filming, when everybody wrapped up with a team of 200 people around, he announced, you know, the thank yous and everything. And he said, "There's one person who has done a smashing job." And I was like, "Oh yeah, who's that? That's amazing." You know, I was looking around, and then out comes this massive bouquet of flowers, and he gifted the flowers to me, and he said, "Shweta, welcome. We cannot believe that you're here with." It was amazing, absolutely amazing, and it was so heartwarming, and I started crying immediately with my hormones all over the place. And this is what's going to make me I was so touched, and this is what's going to make you really laugh now. So I was so touched and so excited. Suddenly I'd forgotten all about my pain and about the fact that I'm absolutely exhausted, and I've been on my feet since 7 a.m. for 3 days. I rang Amit and I said, "Can I go for a drink with all the dancers, please? I really want to celebrate with them." And he went, "Are you out of your mind?" And I went, "No, please." And he's like, then he actually spoke to one of the other dancers, and I think it was Rick who he spoke to, and he said, "Rick, put her in a taxi and get her home now." So I arrived home, and within 5 minutes I was like, I think we need to go to the hospital. And I delivered my son that very morning at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So it is.
Can I go with the doctors?
Call me crazy or whatever, right? But I was back to doing rehearsals and back to the dance studio 2 weeks after delivery for both my kids. So yeah, with both of them. So you know, I can't keep away from dancing, right?
Yeah, but did it not change your perspective? I always say, so like, I've worked for so many Bollywood choreographers and just people in general, not Bollywood, like in entertainment. And people always say, like, your perspective on life changed so much, your priorities stay different. And I've seen people not become carefree, but like, just prioritize life different. So like, you know, like if it's a situation like that, they'll be like, okay, I need to take my health first. I need to look after my children first. Yeah. But did nothing change, or did, if anything, you were like, no?
things did change.
Yeah.
I mean, Threebee was literally my third baby, right? And that's how I saw it. And so I was prepared to do whatever it takes to carry on and to keep going. And I did for another 6 years. So yeah, Lakshya was born in 2008. So yeah, 14 is when I wrapped up. So 6 years I continued, and things did change. And there was a pivotal moment, which I'll again never forget. What happened in this room where I am right now, which was the kids' playroom, is my daughter sat on this little chair and, you know, her little play table, and she was trying to serve me tea in her little teapot and her little cups and saucers and everything. And I was on the phone, and I was trying to respond to a client and reply to an email and, you know, all of that. And she said, "Mummy, mummy, mummy." And I said, "Yes, Raina, I'm here." And she said, and this is coming from a 4-year-old girl.
Your kids are very smart, beyond their years. Can I just say, they are bright kids. They make me feel stupid.
Oh, nothing like that. She literally said, "Mummy, you're here, but you're not here."
Oh, God.
Yeah. And
that's some ancient Japanese proverb situation.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll never forget that. And I knew exactly what she meant.
Yeah.
That I was just mentally not present. And I think that was the day I decided and realized that I have to change. Something has to change here. Because one of the biggest things with running Threebee, the biggest problems as such that I started to see as a problem, was that unlike a job, a daytime job, my work began in the evenings. My dance with my dancers began in the evening, and, you know, weekends as well. Sunday rehearsals, I was gone for 4 or 5 hours at a stretch. And what I realized when my kids started going to school, and that's when Raina started, right, at the age of 4, that if I didn't see her during the day and I didn't see her during the evening, I didn't see her at all. She was being put to bed by my nanny.
Oh, it wasn't even by Amit.
Yeah, or because Amit was working late. So there were occasions where if I had a corporate event or a big event, then, you know, I'd be rehearsing on a Thursday night or Friday night, and then Saturday night, Amit and I would be out for dinner or something, and then Sunday I'm out. I hadn't seen her I hadn't seen her for an evening for several days. And I realized how ridiculous that was. And that's when I decided, okay, I need to really change things here. Or if I can't change, then I have to let go of Threebee, and I have to wrap up. And that's when I kind of started to wrap up. And it took me about 2 years to gradually wind down and not engage with so many events, you know, not take that many bookings.
Was it? Oh my God, I want to move on, but Threebee just keeps coming back. I want to move on to like Dev and Ollie and the Black Rose, but I think like also if we're doing for time, like just do this and I'll start cutting, because I know obviously you want to go to sleep and you want to eat. Was it sad for you to get let go of Threebee? Because I know you offered, if I'm correct in saying, we spoke about you offered it to Ricky or somebody, and he didn't want Shabir.
Yeah.
And he didn't want it.
It just so happened to be that Shabir at that time, coincidentally, was I think either changing jobs or actually moving out of London, or just traveling a lot more. And I think it was in the Middle East that he was going back and forth to. And he couldn't take the responsibility. He just thought, you know, I can't, you know, as honored as he said he was, he just didn't want to take that responsibility. And also, I think also the dancers started to move on and get married and settle down. And so it was one of those things that just kind of naturally came to, you know, its course. And then I just didn't, I auditioned for like a few new dancers, and I hate to say it, right? But I didn't feel it. Yeah. The family that we had with Threebee, I didn't feel that connection with a few new dancers who came on board.
Yeah.
And they were amazing. Don't get me wrong. Dara is one of them.
Oh, Dara, yeah.
Beautiful dancer. I mean, outstanding. And she was part of Threebee. And Vinod, again, another male dancer. Amazing. But I think somehow I just kind of felt like this has run its course, and I need to move on and let go entirely, because if I hold on to just little bits here and there, I won't be doing justice to it.
Mm,
Do you know what I mean? And
I do.
yeah. And so I basically wrapped it all up and left kind of on a high with Srishti Mittal's wedding in Barcelona, because I was their family choreographer for a
Yeah.
good couple of years. And so she invited me to her wedding because I was choreographing her dance routine as well as her family's. So yeah, that was another high. Like, how amazing to kind of, wrap up 3B with that being the last gig, right?
Would you ever do a reunion show with everybody?
Would be
With the
amazing.
OG gang when like things have kind of, I would love the OG Bollywood companies to come together and just do a nice little event.
Yeah, that would be so amazing. It would be
And maybe give the money away to charity. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
dance for
totally.
charity.
Oh, I know my dancers would totally be up for that, for
I
sure.
think you should.
Yeah, we talk about reunions all the time. And then, in fact, we had one, I think, planned for August 2019.
Yeah.
And I think somebody was about to deliver a baby, and so it didn't happen. And then, of course, after that, we out with the pandemic. Nothing ever happened since then. Yeah. But yeah, we definitely want to do one, and I know that they'll all be up for it.
I'm here for that. I will be front row and center. Cannot wait for that. And hopefully you'll perform as well.
Yes, for sure.
Because I'm going to show a video later on of you performing and you dancing in your living room, I want to say.
Oh my God, please don't.
We're going to move on to Dev and Ollie, although I still wanted to ask you how you met Amit and how that happened, but I don't know if that's too personal. We can quickly talk 2 seconds of it, how you met Amit, how you got married and everything.
Super quick. So so basically we had one of those Indian arranged matchmaking, exactly. Just introductions through family, really. I mean, we weren't forced to marry each other or anything, but it was one of those, well, we think you guys will get on. And his father's elder brother, younger brother, sorry, and my father's elder brother, the two of them live in the same building in Singapore.
God.
So they concocted the whole plan. Yeah. So that's where it all started, where they decided that we would be good for each other. And so I came down with my family to London for the millennium, 1999, December, we were here celebrating New Year's Eve and all that. And of course, met Amit, and my parents told me that we have this in mind. And I was just like, whatever, you know what? I'm here for a holiday. That's fine. It doesn't matter. If I have to meet a boy, I'll meet a boy. That's no big deal. It's only a couple of hours of lunch, right?
Yeah.
And I met him, and the rest is history. I mean, we literally couldn't stop talking.
Love at first sight, would you say?
Yeah, kind of, almost.
Oh. Who said I love you first?
He did.
Oh. Dev and Ollie.
Dev and Ollie.
Dev and Ollie.
Yeah.
How and why? Let's just do a quick one, because I've heard so many times and we've spoken so many times. Let's just do a quick 2 seconds of why Dev and Ollie is so important.
Yes.
You guys need to purchase a copy. Okay, Amazon's worldwide.
So thank you. Thanks for that.
No, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about the struggles.
Then it would be shameless, right? So thank you for saying it.
No, I think people need to realize this, that as a self-published author and somebody who's coming from the heart, and you're going to explain it, how difficult it is, and especially how important it is and how pivotal it is for brown kids. So go.
So Dev and Ollie really started, and it kind of, its birth was pretty much Raina's comment. How she said, "Mummy, you're present, but you're not here. You're here, but you're not here." And that got me thinking about, thank you for sharing that. So that got me thinking about, what do I do next if I have to wrap up 3B, and I want to be here for my kids and I want to see them grow. And then what also happened is, because she started to attend school, when she started bringing home books, all the books that she was bringing home were picture books, were either animal focused and no human characters as such, which is a huge thing in picture books, or they were essentially Caucasian kids. And she didn't bring home any books that represented South Asian kids. And so that is what got me thinking about the lack of representation. And yeah, and I started thinking about, you know, how can I represent a South Asian child, and how can I make it fun and not just, oh, I'm just doing a book because I want to have a kid that represents our community, but something fun. And so that's how I then added Ollie, the sidekick character, Ollie the owl. And the entire series is all about festivals. Raimu, are you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here. I think I've lost
there,
you.
right?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Are you there?
Hello? Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry,
okay.
Lost you there for like 2 seconds. Was I frozen on your side as well?
Yeah, you were, yeah. That's all right. Don't worry. You were looking very pretty.
So we're both glowing. We're both glowing.
So, yeah, so essentially I put together the characters, Dev, and then wanting a sidekick to make it more fun and interesting for kids. So Ollie, the owl. Yes. And the whole concept and the whole series is based on festivals and their festival adventures. Right now, it's, you know, primarily Indian festivals. The next book that I'm going to launch as well is the 4th and final one in the Indian festival series.
Oh, okay. Oh God, is that the Kerala one?
Yeah, no. After that, I plan to move on to international festivals. The Tomatina Festival in Spain being one of them. So yeah, so that's how Dev and Ollie came about, and Dev and Ollie is, you know, really why I got the award and why I met the Queen. And now I've moved on to writing The Black Rose.
Yes. Let's talk about Dev and Ollie. I don't know why I say Dev. It's Dev. Dev and Ollie. Dev. Dev as in Deva. Dev and Ollie. Let's just talk about some of the challenges. Though I think the messaging is beautiful and things like that. If it's okay with you, I think people should know that it's not all just painted and pictures.
Yeah.
You really crafted, you worked hard. Like I would see you emailing schools and just like trying to get in for, or libraries from like just wanting to do talks and wanting to do like reading times, Waterstones, any of the stores just to do a little read, and how hard it was. I think I was there for your 2nd and 3rd book, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And how hard sometimes it is to work with I want to say animator or cartoonist? Would you say illustrator? Illustrator, and like going back and forth in regards to that, and then promotion itself and self-financing. And I think at that point you weren't working at UBS or anything. You didn't have Threebee, anything. You were solely just devoting your life to Dev and Ollie, if I'm correct in saying.
That's right. Yeah, completely self-funded, and yeah, you know, really kind of feeling that pressure as well. And you put that pressure upon yourself, right? So you make it harder for yourself, essentially. And that's just human nature, isn't it? It was so difficult, so difficult, because the number of times I've been rejected because I'm self-published, as opposed to, you know, being a published author is what they call it in the literary world. Are you a published author? When you say, yes, I am, I have my books published, that doesn't mean anything. When they say published author, they mean published by a publishing house, by a publishing company. And, you know, even going to the London Book Fair, that was hard itself, because I walked around my book and tried to get the attention of all the big publishing companies and, you know, showing them like, oh, this is what I've created. And having said that, you know, I know that I've already created it, but is there any chance that you would consider it, publishing it through your publishing house? And there was absolutely no interest at all. One of them went as far as to saying, oh, she looked at the book and she looked at the cover and she went, oh, Dev and Ollie, okay. And she just kind of flicked through the pages and she went, so this is for like a niche audience then, right? And I just looked at her and I said, why do you say that? If it was Fred and Ollie, is that when it will not be a niche audience, it'll be a wider audience, just because it happens to be a South Asian boy. And so I was really upset by that comment, and even more determined to, you know, do something. And what happened, and again, this again takes just one believer, right, in you. So what happened then is I went to the Amazon store and I walked in And straight away, when I spoke to somebody there and I said, you know, who can I speak to about the books here? And, you know, I'm a self-published author, and Amazon has got this amazing platform called Create Space, through which I self-publish the books. He said, you can speak to me. I'm the head of Amazon Create Space. And I was like, cha-ching, yes. So I spoke to him and I, you know, showed my book to him. And then he sent an internal email to one of his colleagues, copying me on it, saying, check out her book. It looks amazing. And so after that, that colleague of his then gave me a boost on Amazon with their flash sales, where they have you know, like 50% off, and it's like a flash sale that lasts only like literally a couple of hours. And so that got me a massive boost. And once you get that boost on Amazon and your books are then recognized and, you know, you're on the whatever top 1 page, 2, 3, 5 pages, then people can see your book, right? And so you just have to keep persevering. This is the one lesson I've learned with whether it's Threebee or Dev and Ollie. I mean, I have had failures, as we've just discussed. Schools and libraries wouldn't even bother responding until I got the award. And until I then added on saying I've met the Queen, and then it was like, oh, open doors, please come in. And, you know, what would you charge, as opposed to expecting me to do it for free? So it's really, really hard and disheartening. But now it's been what, 7 years? Yeah, no. I started
since your first.
So 6 years.
Yes.
6 years later, I can proudly say I actually have schools buying the books, and I have schools messaging me saying, we've just, you know, bought all 3 of your books. And by the way, this term, we are going to be studying you as an author. And they're sending me pictures of what kids have created in terms of what they've learned about me and a timeline of me. And it's so, so, so rewarding. And one final thing that I can proudly announce here now is the New York Public Library also embraced Dev and Ollie. That's huge. I mean, it's absolutely
my God,
huge. So 6 years later, you know, slow and steady, book sales literally drip fed gradually with Amazon's boost. Obviously, that made a huge difference.
Congratulations! Like literally,
you know, things. Yeah, it's relentless. When you run something yourself, and you know, whether it's a business as such, or it's something that you're just passionate about, which you start off as purely something that, you know, is a passion and not necessarily a business. I think passion and perseverance are 2 terms that you could pretty much use interchangeably, right? Because they kind of hand in hand, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the story.
Oh my God, the New York thing literally just made me smile. Congratulations, like literally, because I know how hard you work, and I think it's so sad when you believe in something, and it pains me to see. It's like when you have a talented friend, or you have so many people, and you're just like, why is the world not giving it its recognition? And when you see its potential, and I'm just like, why? And that made me felt that way about Dev and Ollie. And about you as well. So I'm very happy to hear that, and I'm very happy. Do you think now you're at peace in regards to? Yes.
Yeah, I think very much. I am so happy with what I've achieved, because, you know, so this is something I'm going to openly admit, right? When I came up with the concept of Dev and Ollie, and I started churning out these books, and there's a lesson to be learned in this, right? I was so overconfident. I said to my husband, oh my God, this is like literally $1 million idea. You know, I can see like,
hey,
Disney
it still is $1 million. It's still a Disney.
I literally said to my husband, oh, you know what? Disney's going to want to make a cartoon series out of this, you know, Dev and Ollie, like just like Dora. And I honestly, genuinely thought, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire in like a year, right? And it's just going to skyrocket. Everybody's going to share Dev and Ollie on Instagram and on Facebook. You know, people are going to be talking about it. I fell flat on my face, literally, because people loved it and realized that, oh, this is amazing, and this definitely something here, and it's great to have that representation. They'd buy the book, and that's it. Like, I would ask them to leave a review. Not everybody would leave a review. You would say like, oh, thank you so much for sharing, and well, thank you so much for buying the book, and would you mind sharing it? People didn't, and I'm not saying that they should, and I'm not having a rant. I'm just saying that I learned a big lesson from it, and I fell flat on my face, and I realized life is not so easy. It doesn't come so easy, right? You have to work really hard for it. And instead of focusing on the monetary reward, focus on your passion. And that's what I'm doing now. And now that I've learned that and started doing that, it's coming to me. Do you know what I mean? Because everything that I'm doing, whether it's Dev and Ollie or the Black Rose, I am just focused on speaking from the heart. And I hope that it resonates with people, and it is. And that's where there's a very gradual growth in followers. There's a gradual growth in people sharing and talking about it, and people connecting me to other people, saying, I wouldn't have come across the New York Public Library if it wasn't for a friend who connected me with another person who is in New York, who got her foot through the door with New York Public Library, So I've definitely learned that it's focus on the right thing. Don't focus on the prize. Focus on your path, and it will take you to the prize.
Do you think the perception of self-published authors and brown authors in the literary world has changed now? Have you experienced it for yourself?
Brown authors, yes. There are plenty of South Asian amazing authors out there. Nikesh Shukla being one of them, Satnam Sanghera being another one. Arundhati Roy is, a world-renowned author, as we know. There are amazing, amazing brown authors out there that have got amazing recognition. Self-published authors, still a way to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, still. Because somehow there is that kind of conceived, what's the word?
Notion,
that if you're self-published, that you're not good enough because you couldn't get a publisher. Exactly. So, but having said that, people are just doing it now. A lot more people are self-publishing and just saying, well, you know what, you can think what you like, but I'm going to do it my way because I want to do it my way. I want to be in control, and they're proving them wrong.
True.
So, yeah.
Let's talk about the Black Rose. I think I'm going to read a little bit out of your prologue that you shared, if you wouldn't mind. And after the prologue, there's 3 things in all of my research that I found that just hit home to me. And I would love for you to just explain that. The Black Rose, your prologue. Ever wondered?
Sorry, can I just interrupt?
Yeah.
Satnam Sanghera. And I know.
Oh my God.
and I hope that.
Oh my God. For those of you who've joined us, that's the 5-second rule game where you have to name authors. Shweta, as I was getting into my beautiful
Sorry. I'd forget otherwise again.
It's okay. Okay. The Black Rose, this is the prologue you shared on your Facebook. Ever wondered, actually, do you want to share it or should I read it? I don't know if you have the prologue in front of you.
I don't have it in front of me, but no, you go for it. Go for it.
If I don't do it justice, just go for it. Ever wondered what effect persistent bullying has on a 6-year-old? Ask a 43-year-old. Ask me. Over the last few months, I found myself sharing numerous stories of my past with my 2 children and husband. Triggered by the Black Lives Matter movement after the brutal death of George Floyd, and where I have experienced color prejudice or insensitive remarks about my brown skin tone, my past has come back to haunt me, uninvited and unwanted. A dark past, or as Indians would call it, a kala past. that's the first section of your prologue, and you go on to talk about your child, like so many beautiful things. I think three things in my entire research of you, what hit home was, I can't remember the rough age you talk about this. I'm gonna just say for the sake right now, it's 4. You can correct me. It's when you expressed to your aunties that you wanted to be a Bollywood actress, or you wanted to go into Bollywood, and one of your aunties says you're too dark, and hearing the first time the word Kali, and you mention it that in regards to blushing being purple, because when you're dark skin toned, you don't turn rouge, you turn a bit purpley sort of complexion. That hit home to me. The quote, which is the Chinese proverb, because you grew up in Japan, white skin covers 7 flaws. Yeah. And then the third thing, oh my God, it just got me really going, which was when your daughter was born and when you held her for the first time. Do you want to say that?
Yeah, definitely.
Or should I?
To say about that. Sorry, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to plug in my phone.
No, go ahead.
My battery's running low. So,
go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So, oh gosh, where do I begin? So I was 6 years old when my aunt, brutally and very vehemently kind of mentioned, oh, you can't, what are you doing dancing? And, you've turned. There's actually a Hindi phrase called Kali Kaluti Bangan Luti, which means, I don't know if you've heard of that, which means, you're as dark as an eggplant and as an aubergine. So that was obviously the phrase that she used, and aubergines are like purple, right? So and based on your kind of skin tone and your color and how you turn purple. And that was the first time that I was not just made aware of my color, that I'm Kali, but also the fact that she said I can't be a Bollywood actress because I was dancing, and that's what I wanted to be when I was 6 years old. I wanted to be a Bollywood actress, and my passion in dance began then. And she said, who are you kidding? You can't be one because you're too dark. And that was the day I realized that actually it's not just in my family, and it's not just kind of, prevalent in a community. It actually goes, it infiltrates to Bollywood. And in fact, or the other way around, Bollywood is a representation of South Asians as in Indians rather, right? And they're not representing Indians correctly, really, because they don't have any dark-skinned actresses in Bollywood. So that was heartbreaking. And I was told that, that was the first time, but I was told that on multiple occasions. So I kind of made my peace with the fact that I will never be a Bollywood actress because I can't, because of my skin tone. And so I kind of settled for the next best thing, which is running a dance company here. And,
you never know. You never know. You never know.
And then with, not at this age.
Hey, you never know if one of, if Sarge, becomes the next biggest thing, and then Sarge's like, Shweta.
He plays mom. Yeah, fine.
No, but he's like, I've got a role for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly. So, and then with my daughter, because I've been through such a horrific journey, to be honest, because that was just the start of it, that comment.
Yeah.
I happened to be dark-skinned, born to very fair parents. So as you can imagine, that came with its own set of, difficulties and bullying. My brother is also very, very fair. And after that, because I was in a boarding school for 3 years, that feeling of abandonment, was already there, and that complex was already there. So I think maybe I don't know if I was being too sensitive or oversensitive, but you know what? Having said that, pointing out somebody's color and making fun of somebody for their color that's not on, right? That's just wrong in every way, isn't it? So being called the ugly duckling in school was just the tip of the iceberg. Once I moved to Japan. And so much happened that the complex was so deeply ingrained in me that, I've openly admitted on various other interviews and podcasts that I did use the cream, the fairness cream, for the longest time.
Fair and lovely.
Exactly, fair and lovely. Well done for changing calling it glow and lovely, but does that really
I know.
Right?
What was that about? Seriously, what the hell was that about?
I know. When my daughter was born, I remember very vividly thinking this. The first thing that I thought when they placed her on my chest after she was born And I looked at her color and I looked at mine and I just went, thank God she's fair. Because I didn't want her to go through everything I've been through. So it's heartbreaking, right? To have to think that. But when I shared that on social media, a lot of mothers immediately resonated with me and said, I know exactly what you mean and I know how you feel, because actually so did we.
Shall I tell you why it resonated with me? I recently, last year, I remember this, I was going on the district line.
1 second.
No, it's okay.
Sorry, just give me 1 second. I know this is...
Oh my God, it's so fun.
Highly inappropriate.
It's so fun.
Fidgeting with my phone in the middle of a session, but
it is so fun.
Charger does not actually plug in if I don't take the case off. And
no worries.
That one is for... There we go. Okay, all sorted.
No worries. I think it hit home to me because we're going to discuss this, and I obviously know colorism exists. My first girlfriend, was Tamil. I mean, she is Tamil. It's not. Like she was, and I remember my Pakistani friends went, "Ew, really, with a gali? With a gali? Like you can do so much better." And then the second thing that resonated with me, last year I was going on a train and I was on not the district line, the Finchley. I was at Finchley Road and I was going back. What's the purple one? Metropolitan, right? And there was this Sri Lankan family, and I could tell this girl is clearly going either to a function or a Bharatanatyam showcase because she was wearing those flannel trousers. And the mother, literally, the son was there, the girl was there, and literally taking out a foundation that is literally this color and putting it on her face,
oh my
and like literally circling it, and the daughter's like looking around, and it's a packed like train, and she's just like, oh, crying out loud, and the brother is just nudging the dad, and she's just packing it, and then like putting the red lipstick on her, and then like after 5 minutes goes by, she puts it on again, and I just, oh my God, I just wanted to go over to that mother and I just wanted to be like, stop, for crying out loud. Like, she's fine just the way that she is. But then I remember my mother putting on, like, I'd say I'm light skinned when I tan, like if I'm under the sun. But I remember my mother putting on my sister, the Fair and Lovely cream and haldi.
Really?
Why do you think colorism exists? Just generally, and especially in our community, because we have literally the darkest of the dark and the fairest of the fairest. And I find so beautiful. Like, I have looked at you. First of all, can I just say, I don't know if this is contradicting, and I don't know if I should say this. I don't consider you Kali. Like, I know the phrasing of it, but I see people, and I see people for who they are. They're beautiful, and that's literally who they are. And I don't understand where this comes from.
You know what? I wish I had the answer to that, because I'm asking the same question every single day. But because it angers me, you know, it's so difficult to talk about colorism all the time. And I have to admit, it's been very, very draining, because that's what my whole page is about, right? On Instagram and Facebook and the entire book. I'm literally living, breathing, eating, sleeping colorism all day long. And forget about those who are following me. I mean, I find it draining, and I can't even imagine what those who are following me feel. But I'm on a mission to make a change, so that, you know, I have to kind of bear the pain and just keep doing it, you know? Why does it exist? Why does it still exist? I think the biggest reason now, I feel, is, I have to say, the beauty industry. Because it started off with the caste system and the class system. Raimu, are you there? Yeah. It started off with the caste system and the class system in India way before colonization, right? And then came colonization. And then after that, the amalgamation of the three things put together basically then left behind this notion that fair skin is associated with wealth and power. Yeah. And dark skin is basically representation of you coming from a poorer background or a poorer family, or like, you know, the peasants and the farmers working out in the fields, etc. Are you there, Raimu?
Talking about the Dalits, right? Are you talking about
Can you hear?
Dalits basically in terms of? Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, not just Dalits, but not just Dalits, but like the labor class, in every way. And so that then somehow got translated and shifted, the focus shifted from wealth and power to beauty. And then what I have a real problem with is it's not beauty for both men and women. It really, really, really then focused on beauty standards for females. And men don't have to face colorism as much as women do, right? Not even 1/10 of it, I would say. Tall, dark, and handsome is still very much accepted in the community. And ironically, it's these tall, dark, and handsome men who still demand fair wives. And the pressure because of that notion and that desire for men to want fairer wives has then yielded into women succumbing to colorism and then succumbing to fairness screens. And as we all know, with anything commercial, with any products, the way life works is supply and demand. So the more people buy the cream, the more they'll sell the cream, and the bigger they'll get, and the more they'll sell in other countries, and so on and so forth. So it's not just India now. You get Fair and Lovely here. You get it on Amazon here.
You were talking about Korean. You were talking about
course,
Korean beauty products as well.
Yeah. So Korea is huge with skin whitening products. So is Japan. Japan has this proverb, white skin covers 7 floors. But having said that, that proverb is not just in terms of color. They believe that it covers 7 floors in terms of like blemishes or pigmentation in your skin as well. So it's not just to do with color, but still, the thinking that if you're fairer, you're covering your flaws, I still don't understand. You know what I mean? And young girls are taught this girls are taught this from a very young age. And Korea absolutely is massive on skin whitening, even more so, I've heard, than Japan. I mean, in fact, next week, on the 5th of May, sorry for this plug-in, but I'm actually doing a live with a friend from Japan, who actually is in Japan right now. And I'm doing it with Emiko, who's Japanese, who's here. And another friend in LA who's Korean. And all 3 of us are going to talk about colorism on the 5th of May. So it's shocking how prevalent it is in pretty much the entire non-white world. Because even in the Middle East, it's huge. They have skin whitening products there too. Of course, as we know, colorism is a big thing in the Black community too. So it's not something that is just Indian or South Asian. And that is what I really have a problem with, that it's actually something so big that the world is not doing enough to address it. And secondly, there's sexism and colorism. So it's something that only women have to put up with. And as I said in one of my articles, another ism that we have to deal with, it's like a double whammy for women.
Where is the give? Where is the give? I have 3 questions to ask you. I said, where is the give for women? I have 3 questions to ask.
Exactly.
I have 3 questions to ask you, if that's okay, in this topic, and then we'll start wrapping it up. But in terms of, I'm going to take you back to that 6-year-old self. When your auntie says that, somebody who's close to you, what goes through your head emotionally and mentally at that point? I'll ask you that first, and then the next question, and the next question. If you go back to that 6-year-old.
Yeah. So I've got a whole chapter about just that in my book, and I've described it in a lot of detail. It didn't bother me so much that it was an aunt who said it. It was what was said to me. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't really see my aunt as an aunt, if you know what I mean. Like, you don't understand relations that well, right? In your world
Yeah.
as a 6-year-old, your relations are only your parents, your immediate family. So an aunt and aunt's aunt and aunts, uncles, aunts, nephews, niece, doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
But it was what was said to me was so painful, and that I still remember it as a 6-year-old. And I was heartbroken because firstly, I was reminded of my color. And from that day on, I started seeing color as one of the first things in other people. Oh, I was told I'm Kali. So is that, the one I've just seen here, is that Kali? Is she Kali or is she fairer than me? Or actually, we're the same skin tone. Actually, no, I'm slightly fairer. I used to start comparing in my head. And the second thing that I was made very, very kind of, aware of is that I can't get into Bollywood, that certain industries and certain careers are out of reach because of my skin. That's it. Just because of my skin. That's the important word, right? Just because of my skin. So that's how it's impacted me. To answer your question, it still hurts.
At what age, I think, like, obviously we all deal with self-esteem issues, and I'm sure you have and we all continuously work through things. But at what age would you say you're still working on accepting, can I say this? Please correct me if I'm saying it incorrectly or if I disrespect you, the pigmentation of your skin tone. Like at what point have you made it, okay, this is beautiful, this is me, I'm
Yeah. It's not easy, right? I'm 43 now, and I have been through a hell of a journey. For more than 3.5 decades, I've been through colorism, right? And the complex is so deeply ingrained. And because it's so overtly discussed in India and amongst Indians, color is constantly talked about, that you can't run away from it. There is no place to hide. You just kind of either grow immune to it or you succumb, like in my case, to fairness creams. So as I've described in like other interviews, it's almost like a drug. You reach out for that cream and, or like a cigarette, you want to grab it. You want to use it, right? And it literally takes brainwashing and cleansing your mind to not reach out for that cream and not succumb to it. I'll give you an example. Just 2 days ago, when I took my glasses off, Amit said to me, he goes, "Oh, you've tanned." And as soon as he said that, I went, "Really? Really? Oh my God, have I tanned?" And I suddenly realized, why am I worried? I'm supposed to be on a mission, because it comes back to you. It haunts you, right? You're still thinking about color, and you have to remind yourself, like somebody practically going through rehab as a drug addict. You have to remind yourself, no, it's okay. It's okay to be tanned. It's all right. It's just color. It doesn't matter. And actually, you should be glad that you're tanned, because you live in the UK. That means that you've had some sun on your face.
That is true.
Right? So to answer your question, that's how deep the impact is, that I'm still fighting it. There are days where, I can be walking around with a massive protest board in my hands and protesting outside, the Parliament of India and whatever, saying end colorism and all that. And then I find myself thinking like this about being tanned 2 days later, right? So it's like you're on autopilot and you keep going back and you have to keep reminding yourself. And so I did mention it to somebody else in another podcast, another live, like when she said it's not that easy. I said, trust me, if anybody knows it's not that easy, I know it's not that easy, because I keep reverting back to that. But you have to keep fighting it. That's all you can do. Just keep fighting it.
Do you think if last year, in regards to, you talk about George Floyd and how that affected you and that led for you to write your first draft for The Black Rose, but do you think if that situation didn't happen, that you would be writing a book or at all like having these thoughts and these conversations?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I have wanted to write for a long time. One of the key turning points was actually back in 2016 when my daughter Raina caught me buying a fairness cream in Thailand, red-handed. And I didn't have anything to say. I literally had no words. I couldn't explain myself to her. And she, as you can imagine, in a 9-year-old's world, everything is black and white, right? Yeah. And she wanted to know, why are you buying this cream, Mummy? Are you not happy with your color? Well, you tell us that you should be happy with who you are. So why are you not happy with who you are? I got caught red-handed, and that's actually how I start my book, just admitting that hypocrisy, what I'm preaching to my child and what I'm doing to myself.
Yeah.
As a mother, preaching to a child is like the worst hypocrite, right? You're a mother. And because I don't even realize that I'm doing it, that's the problem with fairness creams. You don't actually feel like you're doing anything wrong. Or forget about fairness creams, just wanting to become fairer. That idea of wanting to become fairer. You don't feel like you're doing anything wrong because that's what society tells you. There's nothing wrong in wanting to be fairer. That's what they believe, right? So anyway, long story short, I start off with that chapter because that was one of the key moments for me, because that's where I actually first unraveled my entire story, by a poolside on the sunbeds with Reina in Thailand. And I went through my entire story with her. This is why, and this is how Mummy is made to believe this way, and this is why it's taken so many years. And then I came back to London, and of course, what do? You conveniently forget. So that's what happened. I conveniently forgot, and I ended up with those creams again in my bathroom cabinet. Even though I felt the guilt, and every time I reached out for them, I would be reminded of Reina and her catching me red-handed. But I just kind of thought, oh, well, I just need to learn to hide it better. But because of George Floyd's death and racism, and then widespread discussions on colorism, and, of course, many other Black people, unfortunately, have lost their lives in the UK and in America before George Floyd. But it does take sometimes just that one incident, right? And it's not fair to the others who lost their lives in vain, who probably were not even discovered or talked about. Having said that, at least with George Floyd, the whole world did start talking about it. And, when things are too close to home, in my lifetime, that was the biggest event. That's when I had that moment of realization. And I realized that actually by aspiring to be fairer, I'm implicitly validating white supremacy, because I want to look like that. So yeah, if it wasn't for his death, I don't think I would have that courage to write.
Do you think it's also at the opposition of that? It's a bit random that there's these sun tanning creams, and then there is people who just want to look tan to be a certain amount of thing, and people always talked about this sun-kissed glow, and so I hope you address the opposition side as well and discuss that. And when you've written Black Rose, I would love to have a copy, and I'd love to read it, and I'd love to have you back on and discussing this in further.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's ironic, isn't it, that the grass is always greener on the other side, right?
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I wrote about that in my chapter, because when I'm in Thailand by the poolside, I have an English couple next to me who are topping up their tanning lotion, and I have got the fairness cream in my hand, my little my little beach bag.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ironic, right? But what do you do? I mean, in fact, funny enough, you've actually just summarized my next post, because I have a post prepared with Garnier sun tanning lotion and Garnier fairness cream. Same company.
Yeah, that is true.
Two opposite products. Yeah.
God. Oh my God, I had so many more questions to ask, but I feel like we're dragging on. So should we just play some games? Because I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the digital space now, Shweta? Are you happier with it now?
You know what, Raimu? I'm going to turn that question back to you, because you remember we had this conversation, right? About how I'm so intimidated by Instagram. So why don't you tell me, what do you think I'm doing? How am I doing? You
tell me, hon. Hey, you tell me. I think you're very pro. You're open-minded. I think I personally do as well, unless I'm working for a business or a brand or anything like that. But I care less about numbers and statistics now. I think you just have to be yourself, and you know, the right people will find you and the right things will find you. And you know, that's that. But how do you feel? Are you still intimidated by the digital space? Do you think it's impacted you?
Not anymore.
No. You love it
Not
now?
anymore. I used to find social media, yeah, exactly, loving it. Well, not quite loving it, but partly I see it work.
Yeah.
I've actually told, like, literally, like, brainwashed myself and told myself, this is work. Don't look at this as social media and you spending time on social media, because you're connecting with people on social media and you're representing yourself, right? So I literally see it as work, but at the same time, what's wonderful about the Instagram community, I have to say, and I regret not doing it early enough with Dev and Ollie, because what happened with Dev and Ollie, sorry, I know I'm going back and forth, but what happened with Dev and Ollie is I started Instagram, and then I got so intimidated and flabbergasted the whole thing that I just stopped completely. And only because of the pandemic and, you know, being on furlough, I kind of went back to it and started building on it again. And when I realized that actually for the Black Rose, I will have to do social media, and I started, I set up the page and everything, and I started doing it. I realized, like, wow, this is actually an amazing, really amazing, powerful tool, because I'm connecting with people here who are equally passionate about the Black Rose and colorism, and, you know, sadly have gone through horrific experiences themselves. And yeah, I mean, it's a community, right? And what I've realized about Instagram as well, and not so much Facebook, is that the more raw you are and the more real you are is where, you know, people really connect with you, and people, they resonate with you, and that's when you make an impact, right? And that's what I've learned, and that's what I'm doing now, just being myself. I used to think about it too much. I was a little bit of a perfectionist. Maybe that's just the Virgo in me. So now I don't think about it. I just post. And it doesn't matter. You know, I just post what I want to post, what I want to communicate with others, in the hope that people will understand. There will be unfollows. I've had unfollows. I don't care anymore. And I'm really enjoying Instagram now.
Hey, she has now 3 accounts, you guys. It went from 1 to 3. It used to be, I don't want to log on. I don't want to log on. And now it's 3 accounts. So you know.
Crazy. Oh, thank you, Aditi. Thank you for joining, and thanks for your message.
Quickly, in one word, before we play some games, what has been the biggest challenge, would you say? Balancing life in terms of family, friends, and everything with all your projects, or one of your projects, which is excluding family and love, everything, and yourself, which has been Threebee, Dev and Ollie, or the Black Rose?
Wow. That's a $1 million question. Really put me on the spot here. Balancing. I've never, to be honest, I've never really thought about it as balancing and juggling. I think when you're a mother and, you know, a wife and yourself, and your daughter, you just don't even realize which hat you've got on when, and you just do it. And it sounds really like, you know, I'm making it sound very easy, but I think it's not just a woman, right? I mean, like, look at yourself. You're an actor, you're a dancer, you do these amazing podcasts that you are so passionate about, lives that you know, are so passionate about. And you do these sessions with so many people that you find, that you take the time to find, and you cook, right? I think what is amazing about us humans is that we are all multifaceted, and we have that skill to juggle, balance everything in our capacity, right? And you also have that innate ability to realize when you may be overdoing it, and when you've got a bit too much on. And I think that is also very important to recognize. So when I realized that I was doing too much with 3B and kids being so little, I realized, as painful as it was, I have to wrap that up. You know, I can't have it all. But yeah, other than that, I think you just do it. That way we're so lucky, human beings, and to be able to multitask and just put on these different hats, right? Automatically, you don't even realize it.
There you go. Okay, that was a very nice answer. It's a very, very nice answer. All right, Shweta, the time has come for you to play some games. This is the section where we have some fun, some laughter. This is the section which I like to call Sip a Chai or Play with Rai, which is we're going to play some games. And if you don't want to do, you sip your chai. But if you play with Rai. The first segment is called What Would You Rather? And it's going to be very rapid fire round, okay? It's okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. What would you rather, jalebi or gulab jamun?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me? I feel like we have a bit of a delay as always.
Yeah, there's a bit of a delay. I can hear you though.
Okay. What would you rather? I'm going to give you some options and you just pick one. Okay. What would you rather, jalebi or gulab jamun?
Gulab jamun, any day.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Definitely.
Sridevi
Night owl.
or Madhuri Dixit?
Sridevi.
Rekha or Jaya Bachchan?
Rekha.
Critical acclaim or being rich and famous?
Critical acclaim.
Oh, okay. City breaks or beachy vacations?
Oh, beachy, definitely beachy vacations right now.
And this one I always love to ask because I'm intrigued by the answer. Equal rights or world peace?
God, that's a difficult one. I would say world peace.
Oh, wow. I always say this is a tricky one. Why? Because if you have equal rights for everybody, that leads to world peace.
Yeah, I agree, but I disagree at the same time because I don't think it's that straightforward.
It ain't.
Yeah.
Politics isn't that easy. All right. You've heard the thing, like if I say if you, by the way, I'm gonna take my earphones on because I think that might be the lag. Let's see if that is the lag. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, no, it's still lagging. Oh well. I'm gonna ask you if you were the following, and you're just basically gonna say what you were. So like, if I was like, if you were a color, what would you be? You say, rose, red.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I would say red. It is my favorite.
There you go. Okay, if you were a movie, okay, if there was a movie about you, what would the title be? You have to make it up.
The Black Rose.
Okay, what would the title song be? And sing it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is my favorite song right now. It's
no, you have to make up a song. You have to make up a song.
What? No, I can't make up something.
This is your title song of The Black Rose.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, it would be The Black Rose. something.
How would it go? I'm dancing for you. How would it go?
Oh, no. Hang on. Can I just say it would be Black or White by Michael Jackson?
No, because
that's just like...
Shweta, you're destroying. Sip your chai. Sip your chai.
I'm totally destroying it.
What would the storyline be?
Okay, am I right? Oh my God.
What would the storyline be? Quickly.
The storyline, well, the story of colorism and what the story is, of the Black Rose, with maybe a little bit of Bollywood masala in it.
What happens at the end? Colorism ends.
Ooh, no. I think you just grow stronger, and with you, you help other people grow stronger, and that's how colorism ends. You can't shut down, for example, like, you know, the beauty industry, right? You can't ask them to ban all their products and, you know, withdraw all their items, right, from the shelves. But if you are strong enough in your own mindset, then you don't go and buy their products. Their demand decreases, then they automatically have to change to the well, yeah.
It's a movie about a young girl. Yeah, there you go. Who would it star?
Who would it star? Oh, right. I'm thinking. Well, because it's about the Black Rose and it's about, you know, dark-skinned girls and like me, but also because she is an amazing artist, I would say Mindy Kaling.
Kaling. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like Mindy Kaling. If you were a drink, what would you be?
Pina colada.
Pina colada? Did you say pina colada?
Yeah. I love it.
Okay. If you were a food, what would you be?
Chole.
Oh! If you were a clothing item, what would you be?
Oh. I'm really boring like that. I just love workout leggings.
Okay. If you were a holiday vacation, how would you be?
How would I be?
Oh, sorry. What would you be? What would you be? Maldives. Okay. If you were a dance pose, what would you be?
A dance pose. I don't know names of poses.
Well, that's why you have to do it.
I mean, you know,
then.
Given that I love Bollywood, it would be a tumka. It would be a tumka.
Okay, can we see you do a tumka?
What, here? No.
Yeah. You do know you're going to dance later on, right? If you were a character in a book or movie, what would you be?
Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. All right. I am going to, this next section is called Write on Me. Okay. I'm going to give you a person who's either a politician, a celebrity, or somebody, and you have to give me a book name inspired by them. Okay. And a quick little like soundbite of what the book is about. Okay.
I probably won't know any of the celebrities, and I'm letting you know in advance. I'm so bad with names. But,
you will. These people. No. So if I say, give me a book's name inspired by Britney Spears, you're going to give me a name. And then you're going to be like, okay, the soundbite is, it's about a girl who lives in Alice in Wonderland or something like that. That's an example.
Oh, right. Okay, got it. Okay.
Got it? Your first celebrity is Raj Kapoor.
Raj Kapoor. Okay. Mera Naam Joker would be his book name. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Okay, the Queen.
The Queen. Gosh, that's a difficult one. A Day in the Life of Her Majesty.
Okay, I feel like that's a really good novel. I feel like that's a great novel. Kajal, the actress.
Yeah. Kajal, the actress. What's that song of hers, which is bizarre because she doesn't have black eyes, but it was made on her. Ye kali kali aankhein.
Okay, Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson. Gosh. Dude, where's my barber?
God. Prime Minister Modi.
Oh, goodness. This one is difficult.
You can do this.
Correct, but you know,
you can do this. You can do this.
I'm feeling right now about him. How about that's it? Ab Dilli Dur Nahi.
Oh, that's a nice that's a nice one. And lastly, Sridevi.
Sridevi. Well, I mean, Sridevi, you've got to have a book called Hava Hawaii, right?
I like that. I like that. All right, this is your last section of the game. Okay, either you can choose between song associations or Bollywood doo-doos. Which one do you want to do? Please choose Bollywood doo-doos.
All right, go on then. Bollywood doo-doos.
All right, cool. I'm going to show you some of your choreographies and I'm going to pause them in the middle. And what you have to do is show me the next 8 counts that will follow them. Are you ready?
What? That is impossible.
You've done some tremendous amount of choreographies and this is your first one. Are you ready? Let me turn this up all the way. Okay, this is your first one.
Oh, this is from Hustle, right? Yeah.
Listen, I am an excellent researcher. God, it's a long intro.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey. Do you remember this choreo?
Not at all.
Okay, there. What is next?
Oh my god. Well, there is this one move that I do with, like, how do I do this now with holding my phone? And okay, hang on. Hang on one second. Because I've got my phone plugged in and charging as well, so.
Got it.
Just getting tripod.
I'll prepare the next choreo. Oh.
I'm not sure how to
The dancer went down.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I've got one move that I remember very, very vividly, and you know, I can do the 8 counts of Jai Ho. I can do that for you.
No, no, you can't do Jai Ho. Everybody does Jai Ho.
Okay, hold on. Let me just figure this out. Hang on. Just trying to squeeze.
By the way, if one client asks a Bollywood company to do a Jai Ho performance, I swear to God, or Chal Chaiya Chaiya, those are the 2 songs that every client needs to take out of their repertoire. Please, please, you guys.
Tell me about it. Okay, I think I've got this here. So.
Okay.
Right. So, the move. The move.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the move. I think it goes like, okay, so it goes like, hang on. it's like this. And
what are you doing?
Like
Shava Shava? You're literally doing say Shava Shava. Well, this was the choreo.
It's kind of like Shava Shava.
You went down.
I can't remember anything else.
It went down. It went down and then up to here.
Yeah.
Can't believe that.
But this is why I was talking about improvisation, right? I always made my moves on the spot, so I never remembered anything.
Well, Shweta, hopefully you remember this one because it's the Threebee semi-final performance. If it plays.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay. So this is the state.
Okay, they've walked to the judges doing a nice little shoulder shimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's next?
Okay. Far away, you can look the other way. Oh, I can't do that because they do a flip with the girls.
Okay, and then
they
after
do a
that?
cartwheel, right? Okay? Or a flip.
Okay, let's see, let's see. No!
There you go. See, I do
Yeah,
remember
but
that.
before
Yes.
before the flip, it was a little bit of pointing.
Oh, there's like far away something. You can look the other way.
Other way.
And then
There
they
we
do
go.
the flip, right?
Yes, there we go. All right, lastly, are you ready?
Yes. Oh my god, I can't believe you got that.
All right, what's next? You've just gone here.
Gosh, huh? I can just do that move again. So
no, you have to tell me the
one,
8 counts after. Is that what you do? The 8 counts? Come on, Shweta.
I have to recall this now. I don't remember.
And you go around. Shweta epically fell.
I don't remember it. Epic fail, exactly. This is all like just improvisation. What if I do?
Was it actually? I like the chorus.
Well, pretty much.
I really love the chorus. But can I just say, this is what I call yummy mummy. This is yummy mummies. You know those aunties? No, but do you know what I mean? Like those aunties that come around, the kitty party aunties that want to be like, I want to do Bollywood dancing. And I want to like, can you come and teach 6 of us? And they'll be like, my name is Sheila, Sheilaki. It's very much that. Well, that is the end of it. I did have a song association, but I feel like we're running over, so I'm gonna wrap things up so we can both have some din-dins, unless you've had din-dins.
I ate beforehand. Sorry,
I haven't had it.
I'm starving. I shouldn't have said that.
No, it's fine. I can quickly do a song association just because of this. Should I? Or should I wrap it up? You decide.
Go on.
Okay. I'm gonna give 2 songs, okay? And you have to tell me what songs they are. First song has been translated into English, okay? And try and guess what song this is. Gopis will come and go. Radha is the heart of the queen. From dusk until dawn on Jamuna's banks, Krishna only calls for Radha. When someone puts her garland of arms around Krishna's neck.
Oh, is this Radha on the dance floor?
No.
This is.
You can do this. You can do this. Hello.
Yeah. Raimu?
I got you.
Radha
I got
on the
you.
dance floor?
No.
Oh, what?
Should I give you? I'll give you the chorus. I'll give you the chorus. How can Radha not be jealous? Fire burns in her body and mind. How can Radha not be jealous? That's easy.
Oh, Radha kaise na jale?
Well done. Well done. The next song I'm going to hum, and you just tell me which one it is. I'm going to hum it at a very low and slow pace.
Okay. I have no idea.
Come on.
Parsi.
No, come on.
What? I'm totally lost.
Na 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 na
Really
na
can't think of the
na
song.
na na na. Hawaii. Na 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 na.
Sorry.
Hawaii. Hawaii. How could you not?
Oh yeah.
How could you not? And that was one of your songs as well. That was one of your songs. All right, we've come to the end, and I'm going to quickly ask you these questions so I can let you go. What words would you say to your mirror self today, Shweta? If you looked in the mirror today, what words of wisdom would you say to your mirror self today?
So I live by this motto, sink or swim. And there are two options in life, sink or swim, and sinking is not an option. And that's what I tell myself every time I feel down about anything.
What's the give and what does the future hold? Like, what is the ultimate give for you? And what does the future hold? So obviously we have two more books of, well, no, we have The Rose, The Black Rose, and then we have Dev and Ollie.
Yeah. To be honest, I haven't really looked beyond that. I haven't thought about anything beyond that because I'm so consumed by working on the next Dev and Ollie book as well as The Black Rose at the moment that I can't actually see beyond that.
Yeah.
I've even not applied for jobs for that reason because I'm now committed to these two things.
Yeah.
So I really don't know. I mean, 2022, I might not suddenly have anything to do because Dev and Ollie books are out and The Black Rose is out and I'm, promoting, but it only takes half a week to promote and the remaining 2.5 days I've got nothing to do and I will probably figure it out then. But right now, I feel like I've got enough on my plate, so I don't want to think about it.
Okay.
Because I want to do this justice, if you know what I mean.
Got it. And there will be the Pixar movie or the Disney movie about Dev and Ollie. And
well, I don't know about that, but yeah.
I have always wanted you to come out with a kid's onesie line for Dev and Ollie, and I heavily say that to you all the time. I don't know why you haven't done that, and that would be one of the things I would push you to do.
That's a very good idea, actually. And I'd forgotten about that you had mentioned that to me. Yeah,
I think you should.
I should.
I think you should. Dev and Ollie merch.
I should create one that says Dev and Ollie, New York Public Library, right?
Boom. There you go. Peaks and valleys is a question I ask all my guests. A peak is a high point of their life, personal, professional. What was it? What lesson they learned from it? And a valley is a low point of your personal, professional life. And what was it? And what lesson you learned from it? Go.
Yeah. So I'll start with the low because I think we've discussed that already, right? That I fell flat on my face with Dev and Ollie and just kind of wanting to run before I could walk. Yeah. This is hilarious. I've got one of my kittens sitting between my two legs right here when I'm kneeling down on the floor. I've got two. And they've both been here the entire time.
Oh God.
I have to show her to you. Oh, this is just
Come on.
Okay. I'll show them to you in a second. The peaks. So the peaks have got to be Britain's Got Talent. Absolutely. The journey was extremely difficult. The rehearsals, the amount of blood, sweat, and tears that went into it, to the final day where the order of the performances was suddenly changed. We were supposed to be the second last act to perform, the seventh act, because there are only 8 acts in a day, in one performance, right? One evening. And then we were then told that we are doing the opening act. We're doing the first one. And so that obviously, as you can imagine, you know, the pressure that you feel, the added pressure. What I learned is, how would I? Right. So it's quite easy to crumble under pressure, isn't it? And it's extremely difficult when you've got, like, when you're managing a team and you're running a team and you've got, you know, not just your team looking at you, but you've got these super powerful producers looking at you as well. And you're trying to kind of be the middle person, right? What I learned actually from Britain's Got Talent is that I was a nobody. And actually, it was just the dancers that they wanted and not me. Because I wasn't in the choreography, they actually said to me, we don't want you on camera. We don't want your face. So Threebee is them, not you. And that was really upsetting to hear, to the point where I was like liaising with lawyers and everything. And, you know, the lesson I learned was, I guess, sometimes you have to let go or sacrifice only for the betterment of the company, as in Threebee, not me. Yeah. And so as much as I was trying to fight it, I realized that, you know, they are the ones who've got the power. And if I want to be on Britain's Got Talent, I have to step back. And that was a huge lesson for me, a huge one, because it's a lesson of sacrifice.
Wow. Wow. I forgot to ask you this question. Is it okay if, before we end the show, if I ask you this, which is, I always ask the guests this, if take away the support of your family and take away your gravitas and your confidence in yourself, would you still continue to do what you do?
I mean, that is a really difficult question to answer, because the one thing that keeps you going with anything that you persevere through is your own confidence, right? So if my own confidence is shaken and taken away from me, then I can't do anything, whether it's Dev and Ollie or the Black Rose or Britain's Got Talent or Threebee. So without your confidence, you have nothing. You can't persevere through anything. So yeah, I mean, that's how I would answer that question, to be honest.
Any advice to people there who struggle and sometimes who don't have a lack of support and are trying to, you know, either be an author or run their company or just survive day-to-day basis, not necessarily be in the entertainment industry? What words of wisdom would you give to them for advice?
Well, believe in yourself, firstly, is extremely important. Be realistic with your, you know, with your goals and take baby steps. I think, you know, like me, I've learned, right? We've discussed this already, like, you have these huge, big dreams. And yes, it's good to have big dreams because you want to get to that big dream, but ultimately, not immediately. And that is, I feel personally, one of the biggest lessons I have learned. And I would definitely advise that to anybody who's out there wanting to become somebody, that get there gradually and ultimately, not immediately. Don't expect, but for, you know, kind of fruitful returns immediately.
Great. Now I completely understand. Oh my God. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
my screen just went boom. And I was like, oh no, that's such a good thing to end on. Thank you so much. And please say hello to your family.
Thank you.
Can I just say how grown they have gotten?
Oh.
How grown they have gotten.
They're taller than me now. Both of them.
Oh, wow. I
they
mean,
both
then
here now, both taller than me.
Oh God, can I just say, when I saw people as like kids and now they're like grown up, I'm just like, I don't know how you deal with it as a parent, firstly.
Oh yeah, don't want me.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. I so appreciate this. I am going to give you a message of, oh my God, stop. I am so grateful to have met you, to be introduced to you. And I love your journey and I love your story, and I can't wait to see where you're going, and I'm just grateful. So thank you so much. I'm going to give you a message of gratitude after this and be like, thank you for spending 3 hours with me online.
Thank you. You are such a sweetheart and so multi-talented yourself. It's an honor to be able to talk to you. Honestly, honestly, I mean it. You just have this really wonderful way of making people feel so great. And you honestly, I know, just seriously hear me out, because you're such a positive person. And
no, I'm not, Shweta.
Keep going. Keep going. It's just so nice to speak to you. Always.
Thank you so much. And we need to meet after this. We need to cook something together. We need to chill. We need to watch a Bollywood movie. We just need to do something when we can. So please, all right?
Definitely.
And guys, make sure to check out Shweta. Shweta is doing an Instagram live or some sort of live on the 5th of May, you said, with some people. So make sure to go check that out. Make sure to go purchase your Dev and Ollie books for yourself or your friends, or friends who have had kids during this lockdown. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Raimu. Bye.